Okay. I
Yes,
hope,
ma'am.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So today we're going to, as discussed, we're going to talk about planning your career. So there are three aspects that I would like to cover while planning your career. One is how do you plan your career? Okay. That's the one part, and the major part will be what career options exist for uh, you once you complete your graduation or post graduation in economics, and a small peek into what you can do if you want to study further. Okay, so most of the time will be on career opportunities that are available for you. And what right in the beginning, this is not an exhaustive list of career options, it's a curated list of career options. Okay, so I mean, obviously, I know a lot of you want to take up, teaching or so those things I have really not covered in this because, I've spoken to you while I was there, and things that you already know, I've not really covered. I've looked at things that you probably have not looked at. Okay, so how do you plan your career? So Albin said he's he saw his cousin who's done this and he liked what he was doing, so that's where he started. So does anyone has any ideas, where do you start planning your career? Do you start looking for a job, or do you start looking at options available, or where do you start? Please unmute and answer and say something. Hridya,
Yes,
Meryl, someone say something. Where do you start looking for your career? If you're planning your career, where do you start?
this doesn't help, or like asking for your opinions from others.
What? Asking for?
Opinions from others.
Okay.
Maybe teachers. Is that what you mean
Okay.
by that?
Okay. Does anybody have anything else to add to that? No. Alphonse, is Brian here? Anyone? Akash? Anybody has anything to add to that? This gets very boring if I'm the only one who's talking. Please feel
Hey
free
everyone,
to.
this is just an informal chat. You don't need very
Yeah.
formal to it. Just
Yes.
interact. That's it.
Meryl, do you have anything to add? Leah, Ryan, Nikhil, Lishan, anyone? Anything to add? So where do you think you should start your career planning? So I would say you have to start with yourself. Okay. What are the things that you have to keep in mind when you're looking for a career? Okay. So you have to look at what are your passions, what are your interests, and choose a career that aligns with your passion and interest. The second thing is, do you have an aptitude in that area? Okay. Do you have the skill sets, marketable skill sets? Will somebody be willing to pay you for your skill sets? Okay. And the next thing is, what opportunities and chances are available? Okay. So, I mean, you want to do something, but no one's like that opportunity doesn't exist. Okay. And the next thing is, what are your circumstances? Okay. So if you have aging parents, and so you might have to look for a job in and around where you stay. Or you could have some other, some other kind of commitments or whatever it is. So you have to consider all of these factors when you're planning to, when you're looking seriously at choosing your career. Okay. And career is not something like unlike olden days when someone started a job somewhere and kind of retired from that job. It doesn't work it need not necessarily be that way these days. You can always make career changes midway through. You can um, look at even changing your entire career path to something else. Okay, so all those options exist. So it's not like the first job that you start is, where you have to go through. If you don't like it, you can always change. But always keep in mind that, like, uh, align things to your interest, your aptitude, your skill set, and everything. Like, for example, I have a close friend. She went to, she did her MBA from IIM Ahmedabad, one of the best B schools. And then she wanted to be an entrepreneur. But then she realized she had a huge student loan to pay off. So she said, entrepreneurs in the initial days, your like, your income's not consistent and it's not assured. So then she realized, maybe I'll take up a job. And now she's a very successful entrepreneur. So you could start somewhere because of your circumstances, or and obviously when you're passing out of IMA, I mean, there are enough number of companies to pay you whatever you want to take you in. So you have, you have marketable skills. So she chose a career, corporate career initially, and then um, once things were settled, she moved to an entrepreneur. So what I'm trying to say is, you don't, it's not the first, some people could be lucky that, they get to do what they like right from their first job. Many times we have to work towards building that career. Okay, and it's always, there is a path that you build your career. Okay, and so, like, the last thing is, what is your definition of success? Okay, your definition of success could be, I mean, you want to make a dent on the planet. Do you want to make a name for yourself? You want to be famous, you want to solve big problems, you want to join an NGO and work, or you want to make pots of money. See, anything, whatever your definition of success is fine, because it is you who have to decide. And making money is not a bad thing, unless you're greedy for money and your only purpose in life is to make money. That's when it gets bad. Otherwise, making money, wanting to have a comfortable life, all of that is perfectly fine. Okay, so I mean, these are some of the things that you have to keep in mind while you're looking at planning your career. How well is it aligned to uh, your passion, your interest? So these are a few steps to career development. Okay, you assess yourself, self-assessment. What's your personality? What are your value systems? What are the skills you have? What are your interests? What's your knowledge, skill set, and learning? Okay, so that's what I said. You start with yourself. You introspect and understand what you are. Okay, you want to be a lawyer, but you don't. I mean, you can't argue in a court of law. You, you have social anxiety. But yeah, you can be a corporate lawyer, but or you want to be in marketing, but you're not a people's person. So, so what is your personality? And then, does your value system align with, the company you're working for, or the value systems of the company you're working for? Is it aligned to your skill sets? Is it aligned to your interest? Is it, aligned to your, learning background? And then the next thing what you do is, once you have some idea about, what are the things that you like, what is your personality like, what are the type of jobs that you can look at, then you start your research. You look at, what are the career trends, you look for information, you see how you can, if there's a particular job that interests you, what is the process to get into that job, and then maybe do an internship to get some experience, so that you get an edge over other applicants. And then you make a decision. You make a decision on, I mean, what is the job that I want to take, and then where do I want to reach? What is it aligned to my personal objectives? And then what you do is you look at your network. Who can connect me to that particular, corporate or wherever I'm trying to? You write your resume, you write your cover letter, you go in for interviews, and then you get a job and you accept the job. And then you look at, what is the career path you want to build for yourself, and also how do you balance your life and work. Okay, so next I will talk about the skills that you will need for success in career. Most of the career you will need really good communication, both written and oral communication. and we get to soft skills later. You like, having research and planning skills are good. And see, unlike olden days, today it's all about teamwork. It's not about like, what you can do as an individual. It's always, how well can you work in a team. So they're not looking so much at individual brilliance unless you're a genius. Most of the time, when they look at career, when they look at people, they're looking at can they work well in a team. And then what is your appetite to learn, because things change so much around us. We know, like, phones, you have newer phones, so you have to learn to use, and technology changes so fast. So it could be, you could start with something, and then, like, no one's going to put you in a class and teach you how to use. So how do you learn to learn? So that is a very, very crucial part of your career. And then, like, what are your problem solving skills? How much initiative do you have? What are your analytic and quantitative skills? What are your work ethics like? How, like, what are your leadership qualities like? How adaptable you are? How do you handle a challenge? And then, how do HR people measure all of these things? Okay. So, right from your cover letter, okay, to your resume, so it talks about, like, they can pick up these things from that. And then you have your interview, you have your group discussion, you have multiple interviews, you interact with people. So, like, they look at, so okay, leadership, have you played a group game, have you like, led a team, like, what's the initiatives that you've taken, what other courses other than your regular learning have you learned. So these are some of the things that they assess. Okay, now since all of you are, like, so much participating, I'm going to give you um, a situation, and I want all of you to answer how you, like, what you will do in that given situation. Okay, so there is this handsome young man. He's driving his latest sports car on a kind of desolate road, and he comes to a bus stop. So he sees three people there waiting for bus. Uh, a very pretty young lady, an old woman who needs to go to the hospital, and his best friend. All three of them are waiting for a bus, and the bus could take a while to come. Okay, since it's a sports car, he can only take one more person with him on the ride. So, if you were the driver, whom would you take with you, or what will you do? I want everybody to give me your answer. So, Albin, whom would you take with you? Please unmute. Yeah,
Yeah. No, I would take my best friend with me.
you take your best friend with you. Hridya, who would you take with you?
Miss, one would expect the answer to be old woman because she needs to go to the hospital.
Okay,
Uh, but I also agree with the Alvin. I would take my best friend.
okay. No one's opting for the pretty lady. So, yeah, others. Like, I know there are all the participants. I'm not moving forward unless everybody answers. You can even put your answer in the chat if you don't want to speak about it. Either put your answer in the chat or speak up, please. I'm not proceeding unless I have 5 more answers. So I can't see who else is here, but I'm just calling out names. Alicia, what's your answer? Whom would you take with you? Hello? Please
Hi,
unmute
ma'am.
and answer. Yeah,
Okay, I would take my best friend with me.
okay. Um, Meryl,
Probably I would take the old lady, but
you
I
will
also
take the
agree
old
with
lady.
Albin's and Alicia Chichi's answer.
Okay, okay. Now, who else is there? Leah? Yeah, okay. So she said, Alphonse. Akash, Rohan, what's your answer? You can write it in the chat. I would take my best friend too. Okay. I'm trying to test your problem solving skill here. Okay. Yeah. Akash, pretty lady. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I have more than 5 answers, so I will move forward. Pretty lady. Okay, good. Okay, so like see, what did I say? I asked two things. Who would you take with you, or what would you do? Okay, so the clue was in what would you do? Okay, so so if I say what would you do, will your answer change?
Uh,
Meryl, Alicia, Hridya, Akash, Lishan. Anyone? Would your answer change if I said, what would you do? Okay, taking unknown people would be a bit risky. Okay.
And we can arrange a cab for the old lady.
No, no. So this is a desolate road and the bus would come only in the next hour. Okay. So, I mean, so anyone has like, would like to change your answer? Okay. So, Ola, there's no Ola, there's no phone. Okay. So what I would do is I would give the car key to my best friend and ask him to drive the old lady to the hospital. And I would wait at the bus stop with the pretty lady. So is that a good answer? Yeah, like, I mean, anybody wants to comment on that answer? Anybody else? Yes. So this is problem solving. Okay. So this is problem solving. So how do you like, see, basically you all thought of whom do you want to take in the car with you? Okay. So like, I mean, you all, the questions also framed, who would you take with you? Because you always think which who among the three should I take? So actually the thing is, I also said, or who would you take or what would you do? So you like, sometimes you forget the what would you do part. Okay. So like that's an insight into problem solving. Okay. So next I would like to talk about some like some soft skills. Okay, moving on to soft skills. So like your level of confidence, your time management, like what is self management. So when there is like I mean some like what do you say, some kind of issue arises, how do you handle that? Like you're very angry, but how do you handle and control yourself? Okay, and like how do you deal with your friends and teammates, and what is situational awareness? That is like when a problem arises, like how quick are you to come up with a solution, or how do you handle a solution? If there is an irate customer, how would you handle that customer? So that's situational awareness. The other things are like more or less you can understand what it is. So these are some of the things that you have to keep in mind while you're looking for a career. Look within yourself, understand what kind of personality, what interests you, what aptitude you have, and then like look at what are the skill sets that you need to add to be a good candidate to be considered for job opportunities. So, okay, now we come to what career options do you have after economics. Like I said, this is a curated list of options, not an exhaustive list. I mean, like you can be anything, right from being a stand-up comedian to a leader to like to politician. There are a lot of opportunities available for you, but this is a very small curated list of things that you can do after graduation. Okay, now do you recognize the people on the screen? Anyone? Do you recognize anyone on anybody from this? Abhishek, Meryl, Hridya, yeah, Elon Musk. Who else? Who else? You don't recognize the Indian? And you don't recognize him? Anyone? Yeah, one is Elon Musk. This is Warren Buffett. Okay, and this is Urjit Patel. Yeah, Warren Buffett. Yeah. And this is Urjit Patel. Okay. So what do these people have in common? They all studied economics. Yeah, Leah Good, Urjit Patel. Yeah. Okay. So what I want to say is a career in economics is extremely rewarding. And because of the kind of rigor and the kind of topics that you learn as a student of economics, there are huge opportunities available for you once you complete your graduation or post graduation in economics. Okay. And so I'm so when you do engineering, you have a more templated view of things. But when you learn economics, you you are exposed to understanding different variables, how they interact with each other. You learn about behavioral economics that borders on psychology. So you have a more well-rounded view of things. So that also gives you a wider option, career options to choose from. Okay, so the different areas that you can look at is policy, corporate, management consulting, finance, actuarial services, data science, and entrepreneurship. Okay, so now what are the core skills that you require if you choose, say, policy making? So policy making involves huge research and understanding the different variables that impact the economy and specifically the sector that you're working in. So where can you find jobs in policy making? You can look at government departments, central banks, IES. You can also look at academic research. And then you can look at development sector or think tanks. Okay, if you're looking at the developmental sector or think tanks, what you require is, again, you require research, expertise in econometrics. Your employment could be in rural development, urban planning, agriculture, healthcare, international trade, etc. The organizations could be UN agencies, United Nations agencies, not NGOs like Gates Foundation, international think tanks. Okay, and then if you're looking at the corporate sector, you would need really strong problem-solving skills, an understanding of human behavior, macroeconomic environment. So in the corporate, you could look at bank, technology companies, e-commerce, insurance. Then the different careers to explore are management consulting, investment banking, actuarial science, private banking, etc. So, you can look at options in finance and management consulting or actuarial sciences if you're looking at the corporate sector. And these are some of the different areas, like you can be an investment analyst, financial service manager, market research analyst, cost estimator, sales analyst, so on and so forth. If you're looking at data science, the skills that you would require is proficiency in using complex mathematical and statistical tools for data-driven decision making. You could find jobs in marketing, technology, research, business solutions, and other functional areas of the corporate. And you can be a data scientist, data analyst, business analyst, or a marketing analyst. So if you have any questions, please stop and ask. Okay, so you can also look at entrepreneurship. So if you're looking at entrepreneurship, some of the core skills that you would require is business acumen, understanding of market environment, and very strong analytical skills. So what field should you explore? So it's your own company. So what you're passionate about, which is your interest, is will be the field that So it's very open. So if you're looking at this, is the next part, if you're looking at higher education, these are some of the areas that you can look at, economics, applied economics, business economics, MBA, B.Ed, LLB, data science, mass communication, like MSW or MA in human resources. So like, it's what is career? Like, so you have to, you set a goal, or, it's like, career is like a path. You like, you're building, you have to build your career path. Okay, so what do? So you have to set a goal. This is what I want to be in the next 5 years, 10 years, or whatever, and then you work towards that particular dream. So like I mentioned earlier, it might not happen on day one, but like, what do you do to get closer to your dream? Do I have to, like, study something new? Do I have to take an internship? Do I have to like, drop out of my job and then study something? Or like, do I change my job and do something? So like, these are all things that you, like, you have a dream and you work towards it. So you might start with the job that is not your dream, probably because of your circumstances, probably because of, like, multiple other reasons, but you work towards your career goal. Okay. And so what will define your career success? So in today's world, your aptitude to learn is very, very crucial. Like, I mean, how good are you at learning new things, learning on your own? And then, like, what is your willingness to contribute, be it your team, to your company, whatever it is. Like, how well, fast can you learn? And like, how much are you willing to contribute, put yourself out there and contribute. um, so before I go to the next slide, do you have any questions? I'm almost towards the end of the presentation. Do you have any questions? Okay, anyone else? Any questions? How would you go about applying for something? Any questions? Okay, I'm a little disappointed that you don't have any questions. Okay. So if I would not be very happy with your performance. So like, you have to be curious, you have to ask questions, you have to think through. Yeah. So so I don't know how many of you have heard about Ikigai. Anyone has heard about Ikigai? So it's a Japanese concept. Yes, there is a book, but the book is about the concept of, like, why do I exist? What's my reason for living? Why am I on this world? Like, why am I here? Okay, so you find your ikigai, you find your purpose in life. So it's a combination of what you would like to do, what you're good at, what the world will pay you for, and also what the world needs. So it's at the intersection of all of this, you find your ikigai. So you have the passion, mission, vocation, profession, because I mean, you need to be paid, right? You need to live. So like, a combination of all of this. So you work towards your ikigai. So I mean, put your dream out there and then you work towards that. So I want to end with like, see, you might think, okay, we are in a small place like Changnasheri. What options do we have? What can we do? If anyone has those questions, I would like you to watch this next slide. Okay, I mean, this is I hope you can hear.
उसी टाइम मैंने सोचा कि ऐसे मैं घर के अंदर घुट घुट के जीऊंगी तो मैं शायद नहीं जी पाऊंगी। उसके बाद जब मैं 17 साल की थी तो मेरी शादी हो गई और शादी के बाद घर के आर्थिक स्थिति ठीक नहीं थी। इसी सोच के साथ में मैंने कसीदाकारी का काम शुरू किया। मैंने उसी कढ़ाई को देख के मैंने कहा अब मैं बनाऊंगी इसका बैग। जो बहनें अपने मायके जाती है, अपने कपड़े भर के लेके जाती है, वो बैग बनाना शुरू करूंगी। वो सुई और धागे से मैंने काम तो शुरू कर दिया था, लेकिन उसकी जो स्टिचिंग सिलाई होती थी वो मशीन से होगी, तो वो मैं कैसे कर पाती, क्योंकि मेरे पास ना तो मशीन थी और ना ही मशीन खरीदने के लिए पैसे थे। तो मैंने हाथ से ही कुछ दिन काम किया, और एक जब मैंने पहला बैग बनाया बहुत सुंदर बना, और वो मेरा 70 रुपए में बिका था। वो 70 रुपए मेरे लिए बहुत ही मायने रखता था। पहले मैं अकेली थी, मेरे पास में थोड़े बहुत पैसे आए, फिर हम 1 से 10 हुए, तो 10 के पास में काम आने लगा। लेकिन अब गांव में दूर दराज झाड़ियों में बैठी बहनें पूरा दिन काम करती है, लेकिन उसके पास में खुद के 2 रुपए भी नहीं होते। उसके लिए भी हमें कुछ करना चाहिए, उन बहनों को भी साथ में जोड़ना चाहिए। लेकिन उनके घर तक पहुंचने के लिए बहुत दिक्कत होती थी। 50 डिग्री प्लस टेम्परेचर में उनके घर तक पहुंचना, वो भी रेत के टिब्बों के बीच में पांव अंदर दस आते थे।
Ruma Devi went on to train 22,000 artisans from 75 villages working in the Thar region of Rajasthan. She has been a promoter for handcrafted products made by tribal women. Ruma Devi's handcraft was displayed in local fashion shows. She also had the privilege of participating in Singapore Craft Fair as well as the prestigious London Fashion Week. Her artwork was appreciated in the British Patchwork and Quilting magazine.
Okay. So that's the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, you can ask. So I don't know how many of you followed. There was caption. So the last video was about a lady called Ruma Devi. She's studied only till class 8, and so. But she's from Rajasthan, and I'm sure Alvin will know what is the plight of women in Rajasthan. So, like, I mean, it's one of the states where girls are not even encouraged to go to school. So from didn't have not well educated, but still she's on the world stage today. She's a very well respected designer. She's not gone to any design school, but so she had the passion, she had the interest, and she worked relentlessly towards achieving or attaining her goal. So yeah, so I want to end with that. So it doesn't matter where you are. So if you're determined and if you and work towards your dream, you can you can achieve that dream. Okay, so I had one or two questions on the chat. Someone asked about my entrepreneurial journey, and did I always wanted to be an entrepreneur? Yes, I did want to be an entrepreneur at some point of time, but I did work for a few years prior to this, and soon after my post graduation, I I didn't work consistently for a very long period of time. I did raise a family. So once kids were in school, I went back and did an executive management program from IIM Calcutta. Then I started working. I worked for close to 10 years, 10, 12 years prior to starting my entrepreneurial journey. So I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't start by being an entrepreneur. I did work some, I'm mostly in education, and then decided to start.